Tongue. People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for joining me each and every time. Don't know why I switched up the username, people, but anyways, or what I normally say. But yeah, we're gonna have to run with this. I've cocked this up. People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Good afternoon to those of you in the UK. Good afternoon, better yet, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and of course, good night, wherever you lot are, man. Now, obviously, Tobes is gonna be here in a second, people. Obviously, I've started a bit early, a minute before we're actually meant to start. I've started a bit early. I know how Twitch works, people. Obviously, it's a bit funny with the alerts and stuff. So I just thought, let me go live and just warm you lot up. You know, Tobes will be here. Obviously, I want Tobes here because obviously he doesn't know how to pick a football team, but I like his footballing opinions. I like his chat. He doesn't let bias cloud him and things. And it'll be an interesting one just for me anyways, to delve into the mind of a Spurs fan and go through him, sort of, delve into how they're feeling and all of those sort of things, man. But yeah, man, let's get heated. I don't know. I just want to chat, man. Listen, I'm not here to do the Arsenal, Spurs, all of this. So you're gonna be disappointed if that's what you're looking for. We're not here for that, and I'm too tired for all of that. It's been a long day for man. But yeah, when he's here, we'll get things popping, man. But yeah, man, you lot might as well swing your questions in. I'll keep you lot, occupied until that's set, people. Obviously, when he's here, we'll go on, man. What do I think about Gil? Oh well. I'll leave you lot. Well, yeah, I'll leave the obvious Spurs ones for Tobes and things like that. It should be a brazy link up. It's just, yeah, man, I have to wait for him. It's one that's been coming, to be fair with you. One that, I don't know why it hasn't happened sooner, but better late than never, man. Come on. You lot are gassing me. One love to the Twitch gang as well, because each and every time you lot, first things first, you lot listen. Tell you lot to get here at a certain time and to follow the thing on Twitch, and you do. So I appreciate it, you lot, each and every time. Love for that. Which team is in the mud more, guys? Top Spurs or Arsenal? Boy, I'd say Spurs at this moment in time, but both clubs are a mess in it. Arsenal not where they need to be. Spurs never did it. So yeah, it is where it is in that regards, man. Which centre back would you bring into the club? Happy with Gabriel. Hopefully, Ben White will come into top form. Feel like we need a top quality centre back to partner with Gabriel and help White. Me personally, I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, if an elite one's available, then things can be done. But I more want to see Saliba come in. Want to see where I'm at with Ben White come May personally. Obviously, Gabriel's going heaps and bounds. I would like her, if anything, I would like Paul Torres, but we can't do that. I would like someone that's the profile of Marie, but better than Marie, obviously. Ideally left-footed, so obviously help Gabriel if he's not there. But I would prefer someone that's 26 plus, experienced, kind of been around the block. When they're called upon, they can do their thing. Obviously, they're not exactly first choice, but if they play well, they can mix it up and things like that. Something that's a bit different because, as you know, Gabriel, Ben White, and Saliba, assuming he did return next season, as good as they might be, they're young centre backs. You know how it is as a centre back. The older you get, the more you start seeing street smartness and all of these things. So I would prefer someone along those lines, which, funny enough, Paul Torres is street smart, but he's younger in it. So you get the point. Tobes will be here, man. He's been sent the link. The man's probably just finished work. Allow him, bro. He's going to be here, D. Chill, bro. Chill. Stop spamming, my guy. Stop spamming. Spamming. You know how we are about spamming. Relax, bro. Relax, man. The guy's been sent the link, man. He has the link. So let the man pattern what he's patterning. Let him get ready. And he'll be here, man. Be man timing, you know how it is. So yeah, man, he'll be here, man. Just chill off, cool off and that, man. He's coming, don't worry, man. And I know I apologize, the one with Mo got cancelled. Bro, you are trolling, bro. You're saying the same thing, bro. Within a minute, you said, where's Toes? Just relax, bro. Mod me DG, deluded. I don't know. I can't lie. Mods, have you seen this username active? I ain't seen him active, but I can only mod guys that are here on the active thing. If you're not here on the active thing, it's a myth. Don't spam. Do you think we should give Nketiah a new deal on a loan abroad like Reece Nelson got? Because there's hardly any value in selling Eddie and Jan, and there's clearly a player there. I mean, it's either you make man leave in Jan, or he leaves for free. So I guess there is some logic about it, just selling him and loaning him out. But he rejected a new deal in the summer, innit? So things can change, sentiment can change, but it doesn't appear at this moment in time that he wants to sign a new deal. And to be fair to you, if I was Eddie, and it's not in my, a lot can change, but at that moment in time, it doesn't make sense me signing a new deal, really and truly, because you're nothing more than just cattle. First time, yeah, bro. I ain't seen you before. You can't be mod like that. You think this is big up Deluded? Next FM stream, probably next week. We've got a busy schedule, probably early next week. But I don't know if you caught the one in real time, but that will go online on YouTube tomorrow. One love to everyone that was here for that one, man. DG, how's your day been? It's been a good day, man. Been intense, you know, been very intense. Been working from probably like 5:45, really. So I'm starting to feel a bit tired and a bit knackered now, but we maneuver through it. We keep going. It feels like ever since I've, gone at this thing full time, there's not enough hours in the day, man. There's just not enough hours in the day, bro. So it's one of them. A man said, earn your stripes hype. That's never a hype, man. Can't just be giving that one out willy-nilly. And, S is saying he can't verify them ones there. So, yeah, man, the passport's not really there, man. How many apps to be modded, bro? Man, just need to. How long's a piece of string? It's one of them ones, man. Some young players get in the first team after one chance. Other people have to change. When man see some commitment, when you must see your usernames there, and I know you're not with the funny man things, then you can always be here. You lot are sitting there and saying, "Where's Tobes? Tobes is late. Where's Tobes? Where's Tobes?" The man's here, man. He's here, bro.
We say sorry, man.
Minor. They've been onto you. They thought you saw dreams and shit.
Fam, you know it is like people need to realize that we've actually got lives. Like we got
get it.
Money have to make.
Trust me, they don't get it, fam. They do not get it. You said though, you good, man. You got there.
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me, man.
We've been meaning to get it done, bro. I don't know why we haven't done it sooner, fam.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I can't lie. I'm looking at you, pause, and it's like, you're such a cool guy. And then I remember the team you support, fam. It's like, what's going on? I don't like you again.
Actually, 1 second. I can hear like an echo.
Do your thing.
I don't know where it's coming from. Is it coming from me?
I mean, I can't hear it, but if you're saying you can, there must be something.
Yeah, I can hear it. I don't know why it's doing that.
Can you not hear echo or something, folks? Or is it?
Ask them if they can hear it. Yeah.
Can you not hear something, folks? I mean, no, that's
silence isn't no.
Yeah, man.
I can hear it anyway. I'm gonna try and figure out what it is. Oh, yes, yeah. 1 sec. Let me just try and
pattern it. Minor.
1 sec.
Someone said guarantees in life, death, taxes, and toes with his FE on 1.5 litre water. Oh man, fucking hell. They're killing me. But yeah, them man are saying there's an echo. So yeah, man.
Try now.
You're cool to me.
No.
Now I can hear something.
Let me try to come back in. 1 sec.
Minor. As you lot can see, folks, this is real life, man. There's no editing, there's no movie scripts. We're trying. Again, he's here. I've done my part, man. Worse now. Bro, why you man onto the man about how much water he drinks, fam? Let man drink the water, bro. Stay hydrated and all them things there, man. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, he's gonna pattern it. Tobi's retweet brought me here for the first time. Shout out Tobes for the free ball. DG, what is work on YouTube outside of live streaming, bro? Every fucking thing, bro. If I'm not streaming, I'm planning the next bit of content. I'm seeing how you grow. I'm seeing what you can do around tags. I'm at interviews. I'm at the YouTube events and speaking with the people. It's like a football match, innit? Obviously, you can't just play 11 aside. You need to be in the gym and things. So making content's the easiest part, but. Yeah, man. Let's see what we're saying now.
Is it working now?
Yeah. Cool to me.
All good?
Yeah. Are we calm, people?
Still there?
Nah, I think you're blessed, but
people saying still there.
Still there. I think. Well, boy, are you not ready to bear with it, folks? Because I mean, we're not working.
No echo. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's just work with this, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. What are you saying in relation to the North London derby? Let's jump straight into it. Obviously, first thing I want to ask you. What's the feeling around Spurs' sentiment? Because to me, 1 minute I was seeing Spurs fans saying we're top of the league. Now it looks like tide might be turning on the team. Obviously, 2 heavy defeats and a shaky performance in the cup. How are you lot feeling as a fan base?
I think as a fan base, we're just fed up, man. And don't get it twisted before, because I know there are some Spurs fans there who don't like Spurs fans speaking out for them. And I'm not speaking out for them. I'm just talking about the people who I have spoken to. They're fed up. they're fed up. It's just going through the motions now. It's all quite apathetic now. Luckily for me, I'm surrounded by like-minded Spurs fans. I don't really have many
Cloud nine dons in it, yeah.
I don't really have many happy-go-lucky. Not that there's anything wrong with being happy, but I don't really have many sort of like overly sentimental dons around me when it comes to Spurs. Like most of my friends who are Spurs fans, they're quite realistic and they're quite harsh on the team because you have to be right now. There's no other way to be, having seen what we've had to see for the past 4 seasons now, coming up to even 3 years since 2019, really. The Champions League papered over the cracks, but this has been like 2 years now of 2.75 years now of just dross. And it's like, what's the feeling amongst me and my friends who are Spurs fans? They're just fed up. Like, it's a fine balance between accepting that Spurs are shit, but also not accepting how Spurs are playing. Like, we don't go into stuff with confidence. Do you get what I'm saying? We don't go into matches with confidence. We used to, maybe 2-3 years ago. And again, when I'm saying we, I'm referring to my mates because you know how
your reality.
Some of these Spurs fans, he don't represent me. You don't shut up, man. I'm talking about me and my mates. We used to go into things with a bit more confidence a couple years back. I remember Emery's first season at Spurs. I went into that North London derby thinking we were going to win. I went into that thinking, Spurs are going to win. We got this on a streak, etc., etc. And we got turned over. And people can say, but you had a man down, whatever. But we were getting pummeled, even with the man down. Anyway, we took a 2-1 lead against the runner play that we didn't deserve, and we duly got our hammer in. And just since that season, it's just been bad to worse, and it's just like now we're just going through the motions. But at the very least, you should give us some good football. We don't win.
I feel you on that one, bro. As an Arsenal fan, I feel you on that one.
Fam, we don't win. We're not even a top 4 side now. We're not even getting Champions League football. We're not even getting Europa League football. The last thing that you can give us as fans, especially match-going fans, is good football. Just give us something that we can hang our hat on, that we can cling towards to say we're on the up. But there's nothing. There's literally nothing to cling on to. Bruv, man. Sorry.
So where did it now, man? It sets me up for my next question. Well, so where does it leave you with the club? Like, what's going on? Because obviously you've had I want to say glory days of Poch, because that's when I've most feared Spurs. But you've had him. The Jose thing didn't work. Obviously, Nuno's come in. So what's gone wrong? Because it's like we're in September, and as an Arsenal fan, I know what's wrong with my club, but to see a next club feel like this, it's like, what's gone wrong for you lot to really feel like this just over 2 months or a month into the season? Then
I think for starters, I think people were overgassing the start that Nuno had. It was good. Happy for Nuno. Happy. I was happy for the start. Happy for the 3 wins. Happy for the clean sheet and stuff. But listen, a blind man could see. You just have to watch our games. The Wolves game, we played awful, terrible. Only God knows how we came out of that game with 3 points. Like, at the very least, Wolves deserved a point, and yet somehow we got the 3 points. Cool. We restricted them in terms of genuine clear-cut chances, but they had enough efforts on goal to definitely not lose that game. And then we play Watford. Watford are meant to be like the 2nd or 3rd worst team or 4th worst team in the league. And we didn't look like we were a cut above Watford. Like, we had more attempts, but we didn't really penetrate. We didn't really create. And we scored from a deflected free kick. And I remember I used to tweet about it, and you know how the saying goes. If you speak honestly in your fan base, you will have a certain part of that will call you out negative. Oh, you're never happy, you're never satisfied. Right. And it's just like, what do you want as a fan? Like, do you just want to accept the dross that they're giving to you? Like, we're literally scraping games. You're seeing that we're not being able to create chances, and we're playing dead rubber teams. What happens when we come up against better sides where we don't have the luck to score that jammy goal, and we actually have to play our way out of a tight situation? What's going to happen then?
It kind of puts you in a tough predicament. What's your thoughts on Nuno as a gaffer tactically, and obviously kind of tying into what we've been speaking about? Because I mean, he looks like he can set up structure and things like that. I'm not gonna lie. Looking at you lot against Chelsea as a neutral, the second half was terrible, but the first half there was building blocks. You had
100,
them, in my opinion, and then obviously
100.
looked spot on defensively, but it just looks a bit like, for me, Arteta / Emre-ish in the same element of being a bit defeated, thinking a bit too much about the opposition and not necessarily thinking about what your strengths could be. Or, in a fight, as you know, you can't just defend. You have to throw a punch back. I don't get that vibe from Spurs.
100. Yeah, I think with Nuno, let me start off by saying he is a good manager. Like, everything I say, just remember that I don't think this guy's a bad manager.
No, of course. Disclaimer, folks.
Yeah, disclaimer. I think the guy's a good manager. Like, you can't be. I know he spent a nice bit of money in Wolves and stuff, but you can't be a bad manager getting Wolves 2 consecutive top 7 finishes, getting them to Europa League
as well. Yeah,
like that. Like, I think the positives with Nuno that I've seen at Spurs, he is definitely a lot more intentional in his tactics than Jose. I'm not saying he's a better tactician than Jose. I'm not saying he's a better manager than Jose. I don't think he's either of those two things. But I feel like his attention to detail with how our team's set up is better than Jose. Like, I think when we're out of possession, our press is far more organized than Jose Mourinho's. I felt like Jose was a bit too haphazard. He's saying stuff, but you're not really implementing.
You're not seeing it correlated, in it, yeah.
Exactly. You're saying press. You want these players to press, but we're not seeing any organization in this press. It just looked too haphazard. And Nuno's got the same bunch of players pressing in a different type of way to you. You said it in the first half against Chelsea. Our press was really good. I felt like Chelsea was struggling to play.
That's what scares me.
We were on Kovacic. We were on Jorginho. I think the only player who could evade our press was Thiago Silva when he was in possession. So I felt like we were doing well. We even got stuck into Lukaku. Like, our pressing has improved and our defensive structure has improved. I know, yes, we've conceded 6 goals in the last 2 games, but if I look at individual performances, I don't think we're defending terribly bad. Certainly not as bad as we were under Jose, and that's with the majority of the same back 4 that we had last season. Romero's only just come into the team now in terms of starter. Emerson's just only come into the team now as a starter. I don't actually think Spurs are that horrendous defensively in terms of like man for man. Of course, we're shipping goals. I think the team defending poorly, but the back 4, I don't think has been as bad as it is last season. And I think he's helped in that respect. But, and this is why I say but, yeah, and like you said, organizational structure out of possession is really good. But the guy has limitations to his style of management. And this was my concern. Before people say, oh no, it's only been 5 games. This isn't a fault that I've based on our 5 games at Spurs. This is a fault
what you've known about Nuno in
the Premier League. People are telling me, oh no, but he attacked with Valencia. That's Valencia in La Liga. That's years ago. And
people aren't saying that with their chest, man. They're just capping, man. They're not watching that game, man.
People are saying, yeah, he played 4-4-2. Yes, he's an adaptable manager with his formations, but in terms of how his teams play in possession, they've never been front-footed sides. His teams, the best performances we've seen from Nuno teams in the league have been counter-attacking performances, and nobody can deny that. Literally, his best performances against City, against us, against Chelsea, against you lot. It's all predominantly counter-attacking football. And I'm not knocking counter-attacking football. I think counter-attacking football is calm. But if you're going to play counter-attacking football, you have to be really, really, really good at it. Like, the ends have to justify the means. Because if they don't justify the means, then it's pointless, it's gonna be war. It's going to be war. And that's my issue with Nuno. I don't think he's a coach that gets us playing well enough in possession outside of counter-attacking football. When teams set up deep, low block, I don't think he coaches us in the right way to move this ball around well enough. I don't think he does that.
So how do you beat Spurs? Sorry to cut you, but it's like, obviously, you as a Spurs fan, what's the weaknesses then? If you was to say bullet points, if you were setting up against Spurs today as a Spurs fan, where are you hitting then? With what you're saying with Nuno?
Easy. I would just, like, I think Arteta wants to be a bit too fancy-ancy. I think because he knows that, people know that we are there for the taking. But if you want to make it difficult for us, for Spurs, just play a deep block. Play a deep block. We will struggle to break you down. Play a deep block. We don't move the ball fast enough, to dislodge your shape, and we don't have.
It's sounding like us.
Well, it's the truth. We don't move the ball fast enough to dislodge people's shapes, and we don't have the personnel because our squad's not good. Our squad is poor. We don't have the personnel to make those probing passes or decisions in possession that you need to actually break down teams. We don't have that. So that's that for me. That I would say, yeah, that's your way to beat Spurs. Or otherwise, I'm just trying to see. Otherwise, I think Reguilon defensively, you can get at him. I think we can get at Reguilon defensively. If you put someone there who's tricky with the ball at their feet on the
I want
right hand side,
Saka. It should probably be Pepe, but I want Saka there.
Yeah, he can get at us. But yeah, honestly, the best thing is just play a deep block. Ask us to throw what we have at you, and you'll be fine. Like Chelsea for the first half were playing on the counter anyway. Chelsea, they defended well, and we barely could penetrate them. And it was the second half when they came at us, and it was just like, flattened. That's
this is where there's a golfing class in it, because I think Kante raised it, Jorginho raised it, Kovacic raised it.
Bro.
You don't just look mad naive after going into the second half. It's like, okay, cool, we fought these, man. It's kind of levels. Let's kind of it's almost like you assumed it's going to be the same thing. And Tuchel probably gave them man a kick in in the second half in the change room, and they just went up. Are you starting in midfield to answer this question by Frank?
Our midfield is one of the. It's probably the joint worst part of our team. Along with our defense has improved a little bit this season. Our midfield is poor. It's so poor. I would start Oliver Skip. I think he had a good game against Wolves. Yesterday I would start Skip. I would start Højbjerg, and I would start Endom. Like that, those three have to start. They have to play. Like,
would you make it Endom as well?
I love him.
I think he's a baller. As a neutral, you can all see he's a baller, but it's like Nuno ain't really. I don't know what's going on with Nuno. He had the Jose thing. It looks like he just plays an hour max for you, man, if not less. And he seems like the best technical, probably the best midfielder in your team. Defensively can be a liability, but technically, quality could do a lot better. If I'm honest,
I think with him, I really like him. In fact, I love him as a player. I'll always defend him, but I have to be honest with him. Like he's not been good at Spurs. He's not been good at Spurs. If you had to call his move a success or a flop, it's definitely been a flop so far. I think, definitely. I think his first season was horrendous, but we scratched that out. Last season, he had a really good start to the year. He was one of our best players from around late August through to early 2021. He was easily one of our best players, and then his form just dipped. I think he was playing him and Højbjerg. They played so many games, and then his form just dipped, and it just dipped out of nowhere. And I'm like, £60 million signing. Like we need a more reliable player. Like, and that's the worry with Endom. Like, we need to give him game time. We need to put the right system for him to thrive, because I don't think we've done that enough at Spurs. But ultimately, his success and failure at Spurs is in his hands. He needs to pattern up, and he needs to show everyone what he's capable of doing. And I think now he's not going to be leaving at the very least until January. He's going to get his opportunity to do so. I didn't think Nuno was wrong to leave him out of the team when there was all that speculation over his future, because he wants to leave the club. We don't want to be with us.
Move on in it,
So what's Nuno meant to do there? Like, he's meant to play a player who actively wants out, but the window's shut now. So get your head down and just play, because we absolutely need him in our team. The other options are shocking, bro. Shocking.
That's how I feel as an Arsenal man. Like, I think the midfield spot. I mean, the midfield is crucial. I'm personally, as an Arsenal fan, I would be more confident if you man won these games. I'm actually shook because of the losing to Palace, shaky yesterday, getting through on penalties, and obviously, who'd you play? Chelsea. I'm actually shook of that. I feel Arteta's personally going to fuck about in midfield. I think he's going to throw Xhaka back in there, and obviously. We've had games we've won with Xhaka in it, so I'm not going to, beyond the obvious, get onto him. But I just feel if he goes Partey, Lokonga, Odegaard, we have half a chance. I feel that midfield matches yours. I feel that suffocates you, and I feel we take it from there. What do you make of Kane's form? Because obviously I think he's bagging against us, but, you know, he's not really been doing the business. There was the whole projected move around City. It didn't bang. And yeah, I can't lie, against Chelsea, he looked like, I won't say he couldn't be bothered. I'm not one of them guys, but he looked like he's going through the motions.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. He is going through the motions, and it's not on for us We know you wanted to leave. We know that you weren't able to get the move you wanted, but we're 5 games in now. Like, you playing poorly is only gonna fuck up the team's dynamic. It's only gonna fuck up your reputation with a fan base. Like, you don't really stand to gain anything from this. Like, you're not. It's not gonna change the club's decision to sell you or keep you. All you got to do is just play. And ultimately, he's contracted to the club. And I think the way he's gone about things this season has been shocking. Like, he's been bad. Like, he's been so bad in the league matches, uncharacteristically bad as well. And all the things that we thought Harry Kane wouldn't do, because he's acted a certain way throughout his whole Spurs stint, he's basically just flipped that on its head in the past couple of months. Right. So we just need him to get back to scoring ways. It would be perfect if he could do it against you lot. We know he's now the all-time top scorer in North London derby.
He'll do it, man. He'll definitely do it. Like, he ain't scored out the window, as they say, man.
He ain't scored a goal in open play at the Emirates in yonks.
Neither team going into this game has scored it. We've both got 1 goal apiece from open play, so I don't know how much that changes on Sunday.
Yeah, I think Kane's one's mad. Kane's one, he ain't scored in open play at the Emirates since 2015.
See, I'd be a liar if I heard that normally.
No, I swear to God, everything else has been penalties. I swear. Everything else has been
penalties. What I'm scared of. I see the Son penalty. I see Kane bagging. I think you've got players that are nasty cunts as well. It's just with Arsenal. Like, but we need too much variables to go right for us. It's like,
what do you think? Can I ask you a question? Go
ahead, bro. Ask me whatever you want, bro.
Don't you feel like you lot, for some reason, no matter how badly you're playing, no matter the manager, your team have just a weird ability to just rise it when you're playing a North London derby? Like, you have to deep it, yeah? Arsenal are in a shit position now, but before that, when you were in a shit position, we were in a much better position, and we still didn't win there. Don't you take encouragement from that, thinking that they got to rise it?
No, because for every one of them, man, remember the times they didn't do this or they did mess it up or whatever. And it's like, with Arsenal, it's like, obviously, you lot could play a blinder. Kane could score a hat-trick. Everything happens. Tactically, you do a madness. But I just know if we was to lose that game, way before, like every defeat, way before I could praise or give Spurs their dues, I know we're going to do things that are going to contribute to that. I know we're not going to be switched on. And for me, I go back to the Lukaku game. Well, we played Chelsea. It's like people didn't know who Lukaku was. So if you are behaving like you don't know anything about Lukaku as a defender, you're not going to know much about Kane. You're not going to know much about Son. And I just feel, not that everybody's positive, but kind of like you, it's like every one game we lose, we're terrible. We win a game, we're amazing. I just feel 2 shabby results against Burnley and Norwich. Yeah, and it's like there's a bit of complacency. It's like, if going into this game on Sunday, it's all making our Arsenal's up here, Spurs is down there, where really both teams are doing shit. They're messing up. Yeah. We just got 2 wins, and I'm shook because I just feel if we concede that first goal, I want to see a reaction. And I just feel we crumble. I think we could be in it with you lot, fighting you lot, trading jabs. The minute we can see the shaky goal, certain players raise it, certain players are scared. And I don't know what Arteta's on as well. Like, there's too much. I don't know. Are you going to start Lacazette? Are you going to play Aubameyang? For me, again, it's that midfield. Any fucking about that midfield, and that's my faith gone. I don't feel he needs to put Xhaka back in there. Funny enough, Xhaka will probably be our best midfielder.
He definitely doesn't. I think it's interesting you say that, because I actually feel the same way about our team's fragility. Like, it just takes one goal, one thing that goes against us, and it's just like, it's like Jenga. It's just
man, crumble. Literally,
the whole team crumbles. But it's interesting you mentioned that, your team, because if I'm looking at your midfield now, I would actually play Lokonga. Like, I thought I'm surprised that he's just been omitted from your starting lineups, because he started the season well. Like, I know you weren't winning there, yeah. He's playing well, and then all of a sudden he gets discarded from the team. I think if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, the Lokonga and Partey works, because the Lokonga will do the work. Do you get what I'm saying? Xhaka don't do the work. The Lokonga will do the work, and he can still progress the ball.
And then you've obviously got Odegaard with the pressing. That's how I feel that's how I feel we have half a chance. It's like Xhaka's going to take a million years. Like, obviously, it's only Burnley, in it. But I think a big reason as to why, as an Arsenal fan, that was probably the most perfect first half I've seen this season. We're moving the ball quickly. Odegaard wants it. He wants to move it quickly. Like you said, Odegaard and Partey, they're quite similar. They understand each other. You know, it's a bit more of an even contest. I just feel he's going to go with Xhaka. That's already a handicap. For me, Xhaka and Partey are too hit and miss. I don't think it's a coincidence. Anytime Partey plays with someone else, he looks a bit closer to the man we thought we was getting from Atletico. And then you've got Odegaard, who's not going to get the ball because these lot will be peeing about. And then we'll lose it there, really. And for me, what scares me is the level of marking. Because if I'm a Spurs fan or I'm a Spurs player, better yet, I'm getting at that defense because, yeah, Ramsdale's done okay. All these guys have done okay, but they're young, naive, and they're a fresh collective unit. You don't know how good they are. Go and shoot. So I'm quite shook. And obviously at the Emirates, you've been there. It's a bit of a weird one. It's like if the players give confidence, the fans will really resonate that. But it's like you can feel the nerves. So it's like it scares me, man. I'm not really positive going into this game. If I'm looking at it in terms of credentials, you should be winning. Away from form going out the window, Spurs are quote unquote there for the taking. You know, go and beat Spurs. Obviously, it's not the best of Spurs sides, but that's a tick in the right direction. It don't mean nothing if you move shaky and you beat Norwich and Burnley.
Yeah, I think I totally get what you're saying, to be honest, and I'm the same with Spurs. I think that's born from years of seeing your team consistently fuck up when people give them the smallest bit of praise, and I think that's why you just have to be realistic with what your team's, what the level your team's operating at. And for me, in my head, I can see a jammy like boring draw. I can also see Arsenal flipping the script and beating us. I genuinely don't know,
Spurs.
Bro. You know what's mad? Like I'm probably gonna end up going to this game, and for me, I couldn't get a ticket for this game through my season ticket because I don't have enough points. For Arsenal, you literally have to have been going for. You have to have been a season ticket for like since you were born. So I can't get tickets. So through the normal route, so I have to pay a crazy markup, and I'm like, am I crazy for paying this mad markup? Because
you love your club, you're going to support the team, man.
This is it, but I know we're not going to win. Like, and
I wouldn't say that. I don't want you to, but I wouldn't say that.
I'll be honest. I'll tell you the price is like £2 from a £30 ticket, and I know we're not going to win. I know we're not going to win, but yeah, I probably will end up going to this game anyway. And it's just like, because you know what it is? It's like, I know we're not going to win, but you don't want to be that guy when you're like, okay, cool, this is the closest I've thought about going to the NLD in years. I don't go, and then randomly Spurs just
do a job in it. You do a little job.
This is it.
I'm sure. I don't have confidence because it's like, I mean, it's a typical North London derby. It's like if we were the team, if you lot were in good form, I think we could pull a result, kind of what you're saying. But I just feel if I'm a Spurs fan, or better yet, a Spurs player, I'm sitting there and I'm doing what half the team's doing, saying, it's Arsenal. Let's get our season back on track, because as Arsenal fans, there's a running joke. You ain't scored in 4 games. You play against us. You morph and all of these things. So that is where I'm actually scared, man. And for me, it's not going to get any easier for me. And this is where I want to see my players' credentials, because if you put in, regardless of the result, I more care about the performance. Yeah, it's the end of the world losing, but if we play in a certain sort of way, it's not going to give me confidence, which scares me more than you lot. Brighton away the week after. You know, our October is peak and our November is even worse. So now is the real time for Arteta to start showing things, because I just feel too many. There's too much off his back after 2-3 after last night mediocre win.
I think I wanted to ask you, like, what's your, because I don't think we've not spoken in depth. So where do you stand on Arteta then? Because like your fan base is just so weird. Like you've got these people who are just blindly just lapping up everything that this guy does. Like, and then you got people who are fierce, like they want him gone. And like, I just want to know where you stand with him, and like what are your expectations on Arteta this season? Because he spent Arsenal were like top 3, top 4 spenders this season.
He spent 100 million. He spent 200 and something million. He's got all his players as well. Everyone he asked for, they came.
Like, what are the expectations what's your view on Arteta and what's your expectations?
Expectations, obviously, you know, as crap as Arsenal are, if we're not challenging, if we're not trying to get back into Europe, then what the hell are we doing realistically? Obviously, it goes without saying you need to upgrade on 8th. In terms of what I feel the club's actual ambition is, I don't think it's that, bro, because it's like, if I don't know if you heard it, but the way Edu and Arteta were talking, it sounds literally like, let's just get a full 11, let's just look like a football team, and that looks like the bare minimum. And I think that complacency kind of filtered into on top of the obvious how we started the season so bad. So I don't feel it's that, because again, Edu kept talking about turnover, how much players we've brought in, how old they are and things. I didn't get the vibe that you're trying to get Europe, and they always evade those questions. In relation to where I'm at with Arteta, really, it's one of them where you could have been sacked. You probably should have been sacked. Again, I don't know how you survived last November. I feel there's a lot of propaganda around him, bro. It's like he's the only manager, and he has won FA Cup, but there's been, just because of the Pep thing and the Wenger thing, there's a lot of propaganda given to someone that ain't earned their chops yet. But at the same time, I do think there is a lot of luxuries I can give him. It's a bit of a crazy one, because I do think that something tells me there's a decent manager there. Something tells me there's that. But also feel I can't really do this apprenticeship thing, because my biggest danger is you're not going to be a good manager for Arsenal. You're going to do it elsewhere. You're making your mistakes here. It's like an apprentice. He's making his mistakes and he's going to go off and be 30 somewhere else, because I just don't feel there's real, beyond the obvious, I don't feel there's any real pressure. I feel he's got a good relationship with Josh Kroenke. I feel they're never going to bring in a 30 manager anyways, and I don't think he puts pressure on them, so it's with him. I think if anyone's going to get clipped before Arteta, it's going to be the technical director Edu. So yeah, I think he's a decent coach, but he's not ready. He's not ready for this thing.
What's your thoughts on him then? Because like,
who Arteta?
Edu, just that dynamic, just that duo. Because you lot talent ID has been. I don't think you signed bad players, but I also don't think you signed the best players.
Guys that are gonna make it better, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just weird. I do like Tomiyasu though. I wanted him at Spurs. I like Tomiyasu, but I'm just thinking, like, I don't get the Arsenal project. Like, you're trying to go young, you're trying to buy young players, reduce the age of your team, and you're trying to build for the future and stuff. But how many years do you want to build? Like, it's ridiculous now. You've been out of Europe for 2 seasons now. Right. You spent money last season, you spent money this season. How many years can you build? Like, surely we've got to see results.
Do you know what it is? Arsenal are in love. I always say it, we're in love with unfinished puzzles. It's like we you know, there's been times we'll sign a creative midfielder. There's no striker. There's a striker. There's no creative man. You've got both of them. You've got no centre back or defensive mid. You've got a centre half. You've got no goalie. We love things like that. And I agree with you. You can't just be trying to build for the sake of it. I would say in relation to Edu's recruitment, it ain't been good enough. Now, this season, only time will tell, because I wasn't necessarily sold on Ben White, Ramsdale, or any of them, but I could see the logic in signing them. And it's one of them ones where I feel a technical director, you should be able to veto signings if you think they're bad. But on the same target, all I've heard is, you know, Arteta wanted Ramsdale, he wanted Tomiyasu, he wanted Ben White, he wanted Odegaard. Yeah, so if you as a man that's above him has given him everything he's got, now I can only look at you. Now I'm still in the negative because, okay, this summer we might see some building blocks and whatnot, but we all know the Williams, the Cedrics. I think there's been a laxed approach to renewals. I don't think there's really been a big push. I know we've clipped a lot of players and we've cancelled contracts, but I just feel when you look at the El Nenes, the Kolasinacs, actually Lacazette, there's been nothing really solved there. And it even comes down to young players as well. Things like Balogun, he signed a new deal. What is he really doing? Is he, you know, he's not playing in it. So exactly. I don't really know. I think Edu's out.
Did he play yesterday, Balogun?
He come off the bench for, you know, Eddie Nketiah started and he's running down his deal. So it's like, it's the manager picking the team, but I don't know what going on.
It's just weird because the Nketiah one is like, this is what I'm saying. Like, they just create.
It's not making sense.
The way they do business there is crazy. Like, Nketiah, there were teams interested in him last January. You don't sell him, and then you keep him, but you don't play him. And now he's running down his contract. You're going to lose him for zero. Balogun, you sign him on a new contract. Play him, give him game time. Like, someone put out a tweet yesterday. Touchy Gooners, big up Touchy Gooners. They put out a tweet yesterday, and they said that if Wenger was still the manager. And a lot of them believe that Wenger, it was right for Wenger to have left the club. So it's not like a case of saying they want Wenger back. It's more saying that Arteta doesn't know how to use your squad properly. And that's the fundamental issue. Like, yesterday, you're playing Wimbledon. Why is Balogun not starting? Why are all the kids not starting?
There was
Why?
hardly any kids on the bench, bro. I mean, the only kids are the ones that have been involved. Like Balogun's the actual only unproven sort of guy. You had Saka, you had Smith Rowe. Now, to be fair to Arteta in the press, he said Saka and Partey wanted to play. But for me, I didn't really get it. I think we could have played a bit more young players on the bench. I don't think we needed to start who we started. I do agree with what Touchy Gooner said, mainly going off last season. I don't think he knows how to manage his squad. And I hope he learns from it this year. I don't think he managed he's doing it now, but I don't think he managed Partey right last season. There was times what David Luiz and Xhaka, I think they picked up knocks against Newcastle last year. You didn't have to play them because we had Villarreal that same week. So I don't think, I think Arteta, and I think it comes back to what you kind of asked me. I just feel when there's no pressure on you, obviously you need that healthy balance of pressure and not pressure. But I just feel when you're casual and you know your job really isn't under pressure, like unless Arsenal really deteriorates, the man's not gone. I think that kind of casually kind of plays a part in some of his bewildering decisions. And he's got a bit of a negative Wenger statistic in that regards like that. I do agree with what they mean. I don't really see enough bravery from Mikel Arteta. Now, fair play, a lot of teams did name a strong 11, but I haven't really seen what he's doing with the young players. It's like, I don't know how you've brought Smith Rowe in, quote unquote, but you only did that after you tried Willian and Lacazette in that 10, and then you had to try something. I don't know what's going on with Martinelli. We've just spoken about Balogun. I look around, I know it's harder. It's hard.
What happened to him? Arsenal fans are raving about
He didn't even get
Martinelli.
90 yesterday.
Get minutes. I ain't seen that guy since you lost to Brentford. I ain't seen that guy.
You forgot he played for us, cuz. Come on, fam. It's a mazza. It's like, I don't get it because with Arsenal, it's like he's still doing it. Like even Collagen that started against City, it's like guys are in the wilderness. They come in for these big games and then they're out and then they're back in. You never quite know the squad stature. Like Xhaka looked like he's gone. You know, he's inevitable. You can't defeat him. I don't really understand it. And my pet peeve for Arteta is like, you got no emotional attachment to these players. You know, you should know it's me or you. Obviously, you know, you're my guys and whatnot. But if you're not trying to do this thing, it's an issue. And he betted on the experienced ones like Leno, Bellerin, Xhaka, all of these guys that he's bet on. They've all tried to bust out. Yeah, they're all rubbed and they've all tried to bust out. So it's like, do it with the new Donnies, do it with the Salibas and etc. At least you know, you can mold them in your image, give them some good habits. And a bit like Jose, like, you know, when you got players that are loyal to you, they'll run through bricks for you. I don't get that with Arteta. Apart from the duds, he plays duds because he was a dud. Like, it's one of them ones. It's mad, bro.
Yeah. It's just, I just think with him, like, I'm quite like, I used to have some stocks in Arteta when he first started. I could see, I could see what he was trying to do. Do you get what I'm saying? I could see what he was trying to do, and I could see, like, sometimes he'd want to get you lot on the front foot, but against the better side, he'd recognize that.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry to cut you, bro. The football, man. He's not brave enough for me. He's not. I ain't seen clarity, and it's made me think to the point now. Maybe it was us Arsenal fans because obviously the Pep stuff, the Wenger stuff. You know, he wears them tight tracksuits and the MA on his shirt. He looks serious. I just feel he's a liar in that regard. I don't think he wants to go forward, and I just feel, regardless of what people say about Aubameyang's form and all these players individually last season and declining, there's no coincidence, bro. We were 9th for attacks, 9th for goals and negative shots on target. I mean, let's be real with ourselves. People can say what they want about Aubameyang, Laka, Pepe, etc., but you know, you sound like a spoiled kid if you're crying that these men can't score goals. That's enough players to be fearless in the Prem. No one wants to play, not to say they're the best in the league, but if everyone that understands football as a defender, you don't want to play against them. So make something happen. And there's been times Smith Rowe and Odegaard been on the pitch and we struggle for creativity because there's no patterns of play. Man don't know what they're doing, fam.
100%, and I totally agree with that. I think. Of course, the onus is on the players to do more. Like Emerson Smith Rowe could score more goals. He should score more goals and create more goals.
Every attacking player.
Yeah. First and foremost, you got to talk about the players improving. But it's right when multiple players just look stunted in under a manager's tutelage as well. You have to question what the manager's doing. And when you watch Arsenal play, like, it's just the number of ways you lot enter the final third is limited. I just think the way you attack, again, similar to Spurs, it's slow, it's ponderous. You give teams an opportunity to set up shop, and it's just, there's no potency when Arsenal play. It's crazy, and it's like Emerson Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, Partey, Lokonga, like, that's enough to supply someone like Aubameyang. That's enough to be a bit more fluid. And
how hard it is to not score goals with these players. Like, that's arguably the hardest thing to do here. You would think, looking at Arsenal's team, defensively is where you really need to throw all your eggs and whatnot. But this just tells me you're a pragmatic manager. Now, I was of the thought, and I still kind of think it, now that you're getting the spine of your team, I don't know what your midfield is, but if you want to put it with Xhaka and Partey and Odegaard, fair play. And obviously the new back five we brought in, a part of me feels with that settled, we may see a bit more about him in an attacking sense. But I haven't seen enough. Like, I just don't see it. He's got a handbrake. And another thing that scares me going into the Spurs game is very well we could be winning 1-0 and whatnot. But then he doesn't know in game, he doesn't change things fast enough. It's like going back to the Chelsea game. You could see Marie's exposed. Everyone at the game. I was at the Emirates as well for the one in pre-season. You could see people exposed, and it's like everyone can see certain things, but the gaffer now, obviously, he's got his UEFA B or whatever, or A license. I can't tell him nothing, but it's like you be giving warning signs. Even if I go back to the Europa League against like Slavia Prague and these sort of teams, they've done things in the second half, and I've not seen Arteta reacting. So if Nuno's been around the block, whatever people say, it's a problem in that regard.
100. Nuno's a better manager than Arteta, so I think as far as tactics go, I think Nuno can definitely outdo Arteta from a tactical point of view. For me, it's all about how positive he gets us playing and what the players on the pitch do. Because I think similar to you as well, we're both in a predicament where, like, yes, there's some positives in our squads, but ultimately our squads aren't where we want to be. The only difference is you lot have spent a ton of money on your squad to lower the age group down. But the Spurs squad is poor, and I don't think the board have done enough to help Nuno recruit the players that we need to give us that improvement and get rid of the poor players that are holding us back. I think
even with Bale and Vinicius, like, they might be squad players for you last season, but that's a decent chunk of goals going out your team.
Bro, that's 20. That's 26 goals gone.
Team.
And we've not brought, and the only attacking player we brought in this season is Brian Hill, a 20-year-old. He's a talented 20-year-old, but it's like, how much are we expecting him to do in one season? Do you know what I'm saying?
Too much on Donny.
Yeah, it's just
what going for them young players at your club, anyways? Because obviously you got Skip, you got Scarlett, you got now John. What going for them?
I think our academy has, like, there's no, like, I don't even like using this whole star boy word and stuff like that. Like, so I don't use star boy, these star boy terms. I don't just look at any player in our academy and I'm like just wow. But Dane Scarlett is pretty good. I think he looks like he's going to be a good player for us. Oliver Skip, I didn't rate him at all, and then I watched bits of him on loan last season at Norwich, and he showed me sides to his game that I didn't think he had. And even this season, I felt he's been at best average up until yesterday. I think yesterday he played really well. Like, Skip is a decent player. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Scarlett looks good. Like, now John, he looked good in pre-season. Tanganga, he looks good defensively when he plays for us. Like, I feel like there are more and more players from our academy who could prove to be useful squad players. Like, we have so many squad players in our team now that are shit, and they cost tons of money.
Trust me.
Lo Celso cost 50 million, and he is the biggest fraud ever. 50 million euros, and he is awful. He's awful. So it's like, yes, we've not really been able to boast about our academy in recent years, Harry Kane aside, but we got some decent players there that hopefully we can get integrated into the first team over the next couple of seasons. Let's see what happens.
What do you make because you asked me about Tomiyasu, what do you make of Emerson Royal? Because we was both linked with both Dons, and I don't think he's bad. He's still adapting. I just think he's been given 2 baptisms of fire in his last 2 games in the league.
You know what is with Emerson? A lot of, like, the Zaha one, like, he got torched. So he was doing well in the front. Because I remember I was at that game. We were chanting, we were cheering it on because he was getting touch tack to Zaha, but there was a flicker switch from Zaha from around 35 minutes onwards, and where Zaha was like, yeah, you know what? I beat you once.
I'm packing it. You're done.
You're done. Like, you're done. And he proceeded to torch the shit out of Emerson. But last week against Chelsea, a lot of our fans are saying Emerson played shit. I disagree. I felt like, and the stats will prove it as well, because I was like, right, Emerson's actually, like, playing really well here defensively. Like, it's weird. We lost 3-0, but I genuinely can't say any of our defenders individually had, like, a really bad game. Like, I think Emerson he won most of his duels in the air. He won most of his duels on the ground. Alonso wasn't really getting past him in 1v1 situations. The only time Alonso got the ball in the final third was when Emerson was caught out a little bit out of position. But in terms of his general diligence defending, he played well. He had this really good block. I remember we lost the ball within the first minute, and Mason Mount slides it through to, I think it's Lukaku that slides it through to Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's effort, Emerson's the one who blocked it. Like, he made some really crucial challenges. And if this wasn't a North London derby, I'd be saying, you know what, give him another run in this team and move Tanganga centre back. But because of the importance of this game, I need Tanganga at right back. He gets it. Emerson throwing him into a North London derby like this straight after the Chelsea game was like,
gonna get savage.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to cope with. So I think with Tanganga, he gets it. He understands it. He's an academy boy, so he knows what the game means to us.
What you made of the other players you've brought in? Because I think Romero's looked good. You've mentioned Gil. Am I missing anyone else out in terms of who you signed?
So yeah, Brian Hill, Galini, the goalkeeper. So Galini, Brian Hill, Emerson, and Romero. So did I mention? Yeah. So we only brought in 4 players. Yeah, so we didn't bring in any striker. What do I think of the signings? I think Brian Hill looks good. I'm waiting for him to score his first goal. He needs to bust net. He's assisted. I think he's assisted like 1 or 2 goals, but he needs to bust net soon. But I think that's coming. He needs to bulk up as well. He looks really good.
Physically, he's got to eat some hard food or something, man.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to be eating hard food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, man.
Trust me, then some. Real talk.
Yeah, because he's got the technique. He's got the quality to beat players. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think he just needs to put a bit more weight and acclimatize to the rigors of this league physically. Galini, I don't really have an opinion of him. Like, he wasn't a signing that I was head over heels for. He's just a goalkeeper, in it, like a backup goalkeeper. He's not good enough to displace Lloris. He's just someone that we need for backup. I don't really have an opinion of him. Romero, he's good. He had a shocking debut, but since then he's looked good. I think he's aggressive. He wants to play on the front foot, and at times it is risky, but I think we've got a good defender there. And Emerson, his first game was horrible. His second game, Nuno had him playing right wing against Rennes, but his third game, I felt like he did well defensively. I think the one thing I want from Emerson now, in addition to the consistent performances defensively, is how good are you going forward? Because he's looked a bit dead going forward.
I would have thought that would have been the one thing that's unlocked. Brazilian fullback, Barcelona. I thought if anything, it'd be a headless chicken and defensively look shaky. You don't really know what he's about because he ain't learned too much.
This is it. Yeah, like I felt it's weird. I thought going forward was meant to be like his strongest asset, but he looks a bit too timid to take players on and put balls into the box.
I think it's just like you kind of said with Gil. It's a thing where he needs to adapt to the league. It's more psychological than it might be technically.
I hope so, because I didn't really watch much of him at Barcelona. I remember him, and I always say this. I remember him in Firpo when they were at Betis. Like they were the in thing. Like Firpo on the left, Emerson on the right. They could play wing back.
IC3s running up and down.
Yeah. So it's like I'm hoping and half expecting that the attacking prowess should come, because we are literally starved of a good attacking quality from our right back on that side since Walker's left. And then of course we signed Pepe Sarr. I watched him yesterday.
Yeah, I watched him yesterday. He had a good last couple games for Mets.
Bro, I watched him yesterday against PSG, and it wasn't like a spectacular performance, but you can see the qualities there. Like when he gets the ball, he's never flustered. Like he can beat players for fun. He can pass the ball. He puts a foot in as well. Like he puts in an all-round shift. Like he's not
very good signing.
Yeah, he ain't like an Ndom where like he's good at one thing, but he's poor off the ball.
Other things,
like this guy, he's got like a really good handle of all aspects of a central midfield or central midfielder.
I love him, but like, it's so sad. Like I spent the whole year talking about how much Arsenal need to buy this guy. He then comes to North London. Unfortunately, now I have to agenda him and make out like, oh, how come no one good wanted him? There must be a reason why the bigger clubs didn't come in. What do you make of Dele Alli though? Because I mean, to quote Wenger, it could be like a new sign. It feels for a minute everyone forgot this guy played for Spurs and he's back in the team. It seems like, I won't say a new lease of life, but it looked like it was dark days. His days were numbered at Spurs, and now it looks like career's just getting back on track ish.
He stinks, man. I can't even lie to you. Like, I like Ali.
Really? I thought you were gonna say he played alright. He's been all right, you know.
Nah, he hasn't, man. He hasn't. I think he's only looked good for me this season. He looked okay in the first half yesterday. He was getting himself into good positions and he assisted Harry Kane's goal. And he looked like he was actually playing like these in the first half against Chelsea. He wasn't really wasteful in possession. But the second half against Chelsea is more like what we've seen this season. So wasteful with the ball, useless off it, just running for the sake of running. And when you get the ball, you're just giving it away. You're not offering yourself as an offensive threat. You're not passing the ball in between the lines.
Like, he just poor, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, he just reeks at Spurs right now. And I think it's one of them ones where like Spurs are flogging a dead horse. I like Ali, and I still think on his day, he's a good enough number 10 in this league. But he's not a good he's a shit central midfielder. Like, we're playing him 4-3. He is I'll say it louder. He is a shit S-H-I-T. He's a shit central midfielder. He can't pass the ball through the lines. He's not a good ball carrier. Yeah. He dwells on the ball, and he's not really a good tackler as well. Like, the only thing he's got is the fact that he doesn't stop running, but he hasn't really got a burst, an acceleration anymore as well. So it's sad to see, but I really think he needs a move elsewhere for his sake and for our sake too, because he's stinking out the joint. He's stinking out the joint.
Fucking, I would have heard, yeah, Dele's been all right. There's been a little resurgence. Bloody hell. It seems like the only benefit is he's playing ball. Fucking hell.
Dead, man. Dead.
Where you at? Go on.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, go on.
Like, yeah. So with your attacking options, yeah. Like, what's your? I know you mentioned the impact on Arteta and your ability to score goals, but what is your target for? Let's say like Emerson Smith Royal. What constitutes as a good season for Emerson Smith Royal? What for Smith Royal, Saka, and Odegaard? What constitutes as a good season?
All these men should be, whether it can happen or not. If you're not targeting 10 goals, 10 assists in all comps and things like that, not that we're in more comps, what are you trying to do then? Like, your number 10. Obviously, I know Smith Rowe is in levels right now, but that's what you all should be getting for. I see no reason why you can't. I'm not going to say everyone can get that, but that should be everyone's target. Unless you're like a Balogun where you're not going to get to scratch the surface. So I can't really say that. That's everyone's ambition. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Saka, you've all got to get in and around them numbers. If them men are not trying to do that, it's a bit of a joke. Now, how we accomplish that, bro, with our team and how we're moving, I can't see it, because I feel until Arteta arrests what he's doing, you could sign a prime Thierry Henry. He's not scoring goals through the middle. Like, I'm sure you see it as well. It doesn't matter who is playing up front for Arsenal. On top of them playing poor, there's fuck all to do. You mentioned Dele Alli just running about. It's just running about. Like, I felt sorry for Balogun against Brentford, because that's all he had to do. But then man have to get, if you're not scoring 90, 100 goals in the league, then you're in trouble. If you can't say your team can get that, anything from 80 to 100, you're in problems. So that should be what them man are doing. Now, obviously, if I break it down, Aubameyang's gone missing for the last couple of years. Lacazette, at best, has provided 15 league goals. Smith Rowe, Saka, again, they're still learning the tricks and trades of the game. So I don't really think it's possible. And that's my problem. It's almost crazy, but it's like we can't score goals. And they shouldn't be saying that.
What's your take on Auba though? Because it's like yeah, man. It's been like a year now, and I blamed Arteta, I blamed this, I blamed that, and I think you're right. Ultimately, that the team needs to create chances for a striker who has always been reliant on service. Give him even half a chance, and he can score goals. But you need to be putting this guy or getting this guy the ball in positions where he can score. But I've seen him miss some gilt-edged chances. I know it's maybe like one chance the whole game, but I've seen him miss it and stuff like that. Like, and on top of that, I just feel like his impact in games, it was never like the strongest, but it's just been on the wane. Like, what do you make of Aubameyang now? Like, is that an issue for you?
Of course, it's an issue. It's like it can't not be. He signed a new deal. He's our striker. Yeah, we can say the system and everyone's failing, but it's like there's that, and it's. I call it credit in the bank in it because for a while, for a number of years, I thought it was nothing short of a miracle that he's able to score in a team that's not creating. And when I look at his form, Saka's form, Tierney's form, it's like a lot of these players. It's almost a borderline overperformance when they've come into the team, and then there's a flip token of that is where they've just lost all their juice. And I think Aubameyang's lost his dues. I don't feel we're smart enough as a club and realize that, okay, cool, he's getting on a bit. He still could be an asset, but we need to tailor his game. Like the way Ronaldo plays isn't the way Ronaldo was 10 years ago. I don't think we're doing that. I just feel he looks a bit disillusioned, and that's something I've looked at being at the Emirates. It looks like he's genuinely pissed off just running about for the sake of it, but it's scary, bro. Like it's one of them now where, again, if you could move him on, you probably got to look at that, but you can't, innit? So it's scary, bro. Like, this was meant to be the guy. And what scares me is when Aubameyang signed the new deal, there needs to be succession planning. The minute he signed that deal, you go out and look for that striker you're going to bring in that 1 to 3 year period. I think we're only going to deep it when Aubameyang's last year. We're going to be like, oh, we need a striker. We need to now we're using him. For me, as his legs are getting older, save the man. Like you said there, you're a Spurs fan. F all about like Arsenal for the sake of this. Play the man through the middle. Just give him mad service. Stop running him into the ground. But I just think he's got to also take responsibility, and it's one that I don't really know, man. I think it's a mixture of everything. He clearly has declined, but I just feel football fans see the word decline and get scared. Like Ronaldo's declined. He's still doing business. You just have to use him.
And I feel like football fans, they love the minute a player, like, of course, I think it's probably more attributable to Auba right now because of his age. But football fans love using the word decline. The minute a player's decline. But I think with him, there is definitely something there. And I think either he needs to adjust or the team need to adjust. And I think...
Or drop him out, family. Because it's like square pegs in round holes.
But then who you got after him? What? Lacazette. His contract is up at the end of this season, right?
Yeah, and this is the problem. This is the problem. Like the maddest thing is, a part of me, if you was to ask me to name my Arsenal 11, I'm screaming Aubameyang. I'm probably going to start Aubameyang, but there's every logic to start Lacazette. And this is what I'm going to, bro. Like you said, Lacazette's contract's running down. Aubameyang's form's looking shaky. We didn't do it in the summer, but clearly we're looking for a striker. We're looking at Martinez, like you lot. Isaac was there, so clearly we want a striker. So it scares me, and what scares me even more is that Aubameyang might move on, Lacazette might move on, but that new guy, I think I'm genuinely going to say the same things under Arteta, because you haven't shown me enough to say, okay, you get a striker, I see them scoring goals, this guy's not cut up to task. It's going to be the same old things. I just think he's fed up with Arteta. I don't want to say something that there's not, but I genuinely think a lot of them are pissed off with Arteta, because it must be disheartening just running about. And as an attacking player, you're not doing nothing. Like the biggest thing of note Odegaard's done recently was that free kick. Prior to that, you're looking at how we was probably against West Ham in the draw. Like we're not seeing any prolonged madness from any of our attacking players. So it's a mad one, bro.
I agree. It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how this game on Sunday develops then, because Nuno, quite rightly, is being badgered by a fan base to be more positive. I think he tried to be in the first half, and then second half, just the team shitness just took over. And then Arteta, he's the home side, North London derby. Like, your fans will literally demand him to be more positive and get.
I don't want us to sit back. Like, we beat you lot last season. A big reason as to how we beat you lot is the press. Like, you pressed with Odegaard. You actually dropped Lacazette and dropped Aubameyang and you played Lacazette. I want us to press. It's not rocket science. I think similar to you, I think there's mistakes in that 11, but it's all about the mentality and the attitude for me. And what I don't like about Arsenal, we're not playing well for 90 minutes. Like we might lose to you lot. Like, we might concede in the first 10 and then we're spot on after that. And we do what Arsenal fans do and say, boy, if you take away that 10 minutes, that's all dead for me. I want to see it. For me, the minimum, if you man win, I just want to know, we got to see like Kane's a quality player. There's just something that you can say, all right, fair enough. We go back to the drawing board. I don't want silly mistakes. I don't want crumbling. I don't want not following runners, because that's what pisses me off about Arsenal. It's like we play against Son and we have no clue of what's going on. It's crazy. It's like we don't follow runners. We let Kane, it's like one person doesn't get tight to Kane and drop off. It's like two people get tight to him. We're very naive with what we do. Even Højbjerg has had a couple good games against us recently. We don't stop him. So it's like, we understand who we're playing or what we're doing?
Yeah, and I think the manager is the one that ultimately has to set that message. He has to set that message and channel the importance of this game, and also channel proper positive tactics through your team. Like
that's the thing.
I think with Arteta now, like him and Edu, they've embedded themselves so much in what this current Arsenal looks like in terms of the players you signed, the way you're playing. Like they basically they have to live by the sword or die by the sword now, because everything has been on their terms. The players have been signed on their terms. Players have been sold or loaned out on their terms.
The
club have done. I think now Arteta, like you said, I don't know what it is, but he's had so much backing, despite
so much excuses, bro.
So much backing, so much excuses. Like it's sink or swim for him. Like if he can't get it cracking, and like top 4 has to be the aim for you this season. It's not going to happen.
It's not good. That's what I mean. The thing is, bro, people see you say that, and I'm so happy you that has nothing to do with Arsenal have said that, because people see you say top 4, and then they act like you can't concede that. Okay, cool. The squad is not levels; they have bare bad habits, but that's your ambition. If that's your ambition, you subconsciously stop doing these dumb things. You show a bit more consistency. Right. It's almost like we would like to be in the top 4. We're not dying to win. And I look at a lot of these footballers, and I say it all the time on my live streams. I genuinely think some of you, your careers are going to end, and you're going to look back and say, I wasted my career, because I never get that healthy sense of urgency. And fair enough with the young players, they're a bit naive, but it's like players are in their prime ages. So that you're right on that, bro. It's spot on what you said there. I can't lie.
It's just mad to me. And I'm like, I'm saying all this, and Arsenal will inevitably turn up on Sunday, but it's like long term, there's no hiding place for him. Surely there can't be. There cannot be a hiding place for him this season. I'm sorry, they just can't.
People haven't got time, because you know it's because even there was a time, I think it's a results business. So Arteta came in, got a lot of propaganda. He won the FA Cup quickly. People were saying, "All right, cool." In hindsight, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever because it's a trophy, but I think the fan base, actually people internally in the club and Arteta himself, they thought a lot of these long-lasting issues, we've patterned it in a couple of months. We can pattern some other stuff. And as you know, when the novelty of a new manager wears off and players stop playing for spots, we revert back to type. And I just feel the one word I look at Arteta is naivety. There's just been mad naive things, and he's still doing naiveties. And it just seems like with Arsenal fans, it's like, because I didn't rate Arteta from the jump, I can never rate him. Because I rated him, I have to just condone everything. And I just feel it stinks of agendas. It's like the man should be on borrowed time, really and truly, if we're honest with ourselves. I hope he turns it around, but I don't get that, and that's even that. I don't get that when you're under pressure, you either react or you revert back to type. And then I say he's under pressure now, so how can I really be surprised if he goes with the comfortability of Granit Xhaka and people like that? That's the thing that pees me off. I think that's what's probably given him a bit more leeway in these 2 wins, because he's played the different players, he's played these new signings, so people can say, all right, cool, we can see what you're kind of doing. And another thing that don't help Arteta is he actually used to be good at it. His press conferences, bro, is like they never match up. They're quite bewildering. Sometimes you have to say a spade's a spade. He does come across as a bit condescending. So I do think he lacks self-awareness. I do think he tries to micromanage too much, like ironically, even in the final third. Like, I don't think he delegates enough in training, because I haven't seen individual players improving enough. I haven't seen individuals understanding the system. It's like, fair enough, we need to find a first choice 11. But if something happens to Gabriel and, I don't know, a holding comes in, the defense there should be a base level of performance. It's literally going to go down the toilet. These are the things that I'm saying. It's coaching, and like you said, there's no hiding place. You can have all the propaganda, and it annoys me because he says things like, I need time, and it's true. But it's like, just because the done. Yeah, no, but it's not that. Monday to Friday, what are you man doing in training?
Yeah.
Like, 9 to 5, what are you man doing? And we're hearing double sessions, drones. He sleeps with diagrams on his walls.
Oh my God, he sleeps with diagrams. That bullshit. Oh,
yeah, fam. When I'm hearing this, it's like, bro, you should know that jack of shit. Then, like, you're not reading the right things. Then, isn't it? It's as simple as that for me. It's rubbish, bro.
I think I really like this. I really like this conversation as well. It's funny as well because the sleeping with his diagrams thing is just it just does my nutting, man. I remember when he got the job, like the Athletic, they had that article, and it's just like
they're in the club's pocket probably as well, man.
Hell, man. Jesus.
Bro, and they made it worse because if there's no propaganda, then I can't say anything really and truly. Like there is, it's one of them. And one thing with Arteta, what scares me more is if you remember the year before he came, he was linked with the job, or 2 years, or whenever Emre got it, he was linked with it, and he turned it down. Now, obviously, in future, he's accepted it. So what's changed for you to accept it? What assurances or what backing or what did you need? So what is our ambitions then? Like I really don't get it, bro. I don't understand it, and I just feel the longer we keep doing this, the worse it gets. We're already feeling the pinch financially. It's like it's going to start pandering into the players because you start looking at Tierney, you start looking at Saka and Smith Rowe. At some point, they're going to have to ask themselves, can I develop here? Can I win things here? Whatever. And I'm going to have to keep it moving. Right now, they're still naive young men. So there's not really anything to panic. But if we keep going like this, and it's like, I can't, obviously you can't read the future, but I can't tell you what we're going to look like in a year or two because I can't see what Arteta is doing right now.
Fair. I can't really say any more to that, to be honest. Yeah.
What are you saying finally to wrap this up? What are you saying in terms of score prediction?
I'm gonna go for a draw, man. Fuck it. I'll go for a Desmond. I'll go for 2-2.
You know what? I have to back my boys, man. I want to be like you and sit on the fence and go 1-1 or something, but I'm gonna say, you know what? Yeah, man. You have to, bro. You have to. I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. Can see the penalty. Harry, Son get it. Kane score it. I don't know who scores for Arsenal, but I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. But in my heart, I don't really
score. You reckon he'll score? Auba, is he gonna score?
Boy, I mean, I ain't seen that front flip in a hot minute, bro. So I would like to see that in that game, but I can't see it happening. I mean, Spurs going into the game, you know, Aubameyang's a danger man, and I think you lot are not as naive as us. You lot will understand. Okay, maybe I should mark Aubameyang. We don't do things like that, so probably be someone bugged who scores, man. But that's what I'm saying.
Fair. I don't blame you for backing your team. I just know no matter the position we're in at home, I'm definitely going to back Spurs to win. So, yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
I'll hate you, man. I let them know where they can find you as well, man. Obviously, when this goes on YouTube, people, his info will be in the description and all of that sort of stuff. But, yeah, for people that watch it for the first time.
So, like, for me, you can find me on all socials, Tapping Tobes, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Literally just all those platforms as well. TAPINTOBS. I mainly talk about Spurs, but I talk about other stuff as well. I like getting other fans on, fans like Deluded, fans like Turkish, fans like Matisse, just people just to come on my platform and talk football. I'm not one of these people who wants to just argue for the sake of arguing. I got specific shows where I can argue, but yeah. But yeah, I just like talking football. So if you like talking football, good, honest, realistic chat, not this fucking airy-fairy bullshit.
That's why I asked you to be here, bro, because we could have just done this slagging contest. It's dead, bro. It's not. It don't make sense. Like there's nothing. This is why we've actually needed to get this done. It's intellectual conversation. So unfortunate that you support these guys, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, bro. People, make sure you're subscribing to the guy. Make sure you're setting your alerts for when he drops stuff. And yeah, man, I'm pretty sure I'll be on his channel not before too long. So yeah, sub to the done, man. But yeah, man. Hopefully, we're sitting here with an Arsenal victory and a Spurs defeat. But yeah, bro. Like...
Are you going to the game?
No, of course not, bro. I can't lie. I've not going to any games this season until I start to believe, because I was mad on it. Like I had a ticket for the Brentford away. I was so on it, and then I went to, I was about to say Emirates Cup, but you see that charity thing we was all playing.
Yeah, the Mind series.
Yeah, like I was there at the Emirates, and I was like, I know it's only pre-season, but it's the strongest team, and something just clicked for me. I was like, nah, I'm seeing Marie moaning at this guy. You lot are not taking accountability. It's like nothing's really changed. Like I was a bit blindly optimistic. So it's like, I don't know about no one else, but it's like, I love to go to games, but it's like that feeling of being in the stadium when these results go a bit booky. I sit at the stadium. I can't move. I just comprehend it. I'm just like, I can't do it, man. I really can't do it.
And you saying this is just making me think, like, should I do this or not? Should I?
No, I do it, man. It's the highs and lows, isn't it? Really and truly, it's not even that far of a game, to be fair. But you might as well go, man. Don't let me discourage you, bro.
Nah, man. I've discouraged myself, but yeah, I'll see, man. I'll see.
But yeah, people, make sure you're following me on Twitch. Make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. Make sure you're following Tobi, tapping Tobes, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the rest of it. Obviously, yeah, man, we'll see what the game is saying. But for now, we're out, folks. Peace.
See.